Welcome back to the Savannah Buckler podcast. Today, we are talking about my grandpa's passing. Now, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That is a really bad place to put my phone. I'm gonna put you guys right here while I finish up the dishes. So, if you guys do not pay attention to my normal channel, which this podcast is on, it's just a specific playlist. If you don't pay attention to the videos, you really should. My latest video, by the time this podcast episode comes out, y'all will officially know. But right now, as I'm making this video, the We Got the Call video is up. Now, my grandpa was 81 years old. He is my mom's dad. So let's do a little bit of backstory. My mom had both of her parents alive until October 31st, 2022. And then backtracking a little bit more, my grandmother, Deanna Vinkira, was diagnosed with dementia and schizophrenia and then passed away October 31st of 2022. So it's been a couple of years since her passing. My mom was very distraught at that time. She just lost her mom. And she was a caretaker for grandma for like the longest time. And then my grandpa, Delmer Vinkira, had been diagnosed with cancer, skin cancer, like 15 years ago. So it's been quite a few years since he got diagnosed with skin cancer. And then he had kidney failure for the shortest amount of time. They got the kidney failure fixed. And then he got diagnosed with Parkinson's. So if you guys don't know what Parkinson's is, it's like dementia but different at the same time. Parkinson's fucks with your nervous system. And it fucks with your brain too. It sends mixed signals to your brain. When you're trying to walk, your brain tells you to walk. His did not. His kept him walking in place, and then he would take a step. Well, his Parkinson's led to many, many falls. This latest fall would kill him. Same thing with the cancer. So like I said, my grandpa was 81 years old when he passed away. So he had a fall, and there was blood everywhere. Like, my grandparents' carpet is stained with his blood. There was blood on the walls. There was, it was just blood. It was just bad. Blood on the wall, fucking blood on the floor. Like I said, it was just overall a really bad fall. So after said fall, he was at this hospital here in my town. Then they said that he wasn't getting any better and needed to be transferred to North Platte. So that's what we did. They transferred him to North Platte around noon. He was in the hospital for a week or two, I want to say, before they transferred him, or maybe it was 3 or 4 days. I'm not really for sure. This whole thing has been a blur. But anyways, either way, he got transferred to North Platte. And it's shocking to me how much the body can change over time. My grandpa, due to his cancer, lost his ear, and this was back when he was first diagnosed, and they had to fight for life they took him to Denver or some town in Colorado to have his ear removed and a flap, skin from his stomach put on his ear. That's where that came from. But anyways, after this fall, they transferred him to North Platte. Okay, we thought he was gonna get better because that's what the nurses were telling us. These nurses did not know what the fuck they were doing. Just saying. I have never been. What? Yeah. I have never been so disappointed in any of the doctors before until just recently.
Mom!
What?
What are the shoes?
Yeah, go. So, when he fell, he scraped up his head, scraped up his arms, his legs.
Mom! Look.
Yeah, go. He had staples on his head, and it was just bad. Like, he had bandages on his arms, bandages on his legs, staples in his head.
Look.
Yeah, go. And it was just overall very bad. So we thought he was going to get better. We were hoping and praying for a miracle. That obviously didn't happen. Many visits, he kept looking worse. He kept getting worse. He was in North Platte for a while, at the hospital at least, where they kept giving him medicine. They were giving him everything, his cancer medications, everything that they could possibly do, they were doing correctly. But my grandpa was just in a tremendous amount of pain, and then he had a bleed somewhere. His hemoglobin levels were continuously trying to fall, or continuously falling, and they didn't know why. So there was this mystery bleed in his body, and no one knew where it was. It was not pinpointed until he was on palliative/hospice care. I'll get to that in a second. So he had urine he had blood in his urine for the longest time, okay? Just recently it did clear up. Then towards the end it was starting to clot again. And it was because he had a GI bleed. At least that's what they thought, or they think. We never did an autopsy. We kind of knew that old age and cancer was going to take him from us. So after a while, my grandpa just couldn't take it anymore. He said stop with all the surgeries, because he had plenty of surgeries, blood transfusions, IVs. They were picking and prodding at him day after day, night after night, week after week. And towards the end, he just couldn't take it anymore. He's like, fuck this, just put me on palliative/hospice care. So that's what they did. He and my mom explained to him, you do realize that if you do this, you will die. And he's like, yes, I just can't handle it anymore. I don't want to be in any more pain. So that's what they did. They put him on palliative/hospice care across the street. That's where the place is for these things. So they did that. So when doing that, they take off all medications. All of his cancer, every medication that he was taking, they stopped. They only gave morphine for pain. And at this point, he wasn't eating. It was 14 days without him eating. He would take sips of water here and there, but he was just not getting the nutrients that he needed. At this point, my grandpa gave up, which I can't blame him. At first, I was angry with him, but now I completely understand why he just couldn't deal with it anymore. And this was quite, just recently, April 29th, at 12:10 in the morning was when he took his final breath. And I'll get to that in a second. So he was in palliative care for a while. We were expecting a call any day because that's what the nurses kept telling us. Just recently, they called us and was like, he's showing signs of end of life. So when showing signs of end of life, there's molding, not eating, not drinking, not responsive, that sort of thing. He was showing all of those signs.
Mama!
So,
Mama!
What, babe? That's what happened. He was showing signs of end of life. We were there until the end. I was watching him take his final breath. I was there. They pushed the last round of morphine in. And then at 12:10 in the morning, he took his final breath. My mom is very distraught. My mom is not doing too well right now. We are currently planning funeral arrangements, and it is the 1st of May. He's been gone a couple days as of now, and My mom is currently residing in their old place, going through things, and she's going to live there because her lease is currently up at her old apartment. I've been getting lots of things from my grandmother, or from my mom. That was my grandmother's stuff. Just recently, she gave me coats, a pair of boots, and a puzzle that my grandpa never got the chance to put together, so I'm going to put it together in memory of him. But I took pictures of him in the hospital, and I just can't remember him that way. I want to remember him being healthy. I want to remember him talking and loving every single one of us. Like, I don't want to remember what I saw him like. And so I'm planning on, I'm doing a few projects that are still in the works that you guys will see in the next few episodes of the Savannah Buckler podcast. But I just wanted to share this because my grandpa was a very strong man. He was loved by many, and he will be missed. So can everyone please put in the comments, R.I.P. Delmer Van Kira. Just positive comments, please. This is a very hard time for us, and we're going through a lot right now. But I love you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next episode of the Savannah Buckler podcast.